Hey everyone, Deborah here. One of the students in my goat birthing course recently asked how to get her goats to eat alfalfa pellets because she can't get alfalfa in her area. And pregnant goats should have at least 50% alfalfa hay at the end of their pregnancy for the last 2 months because they need a lot of calcium to grow all those babies because that's a lot of bones that they have to grow. So that's why they need a lot of calcium. And so if you can't find alfalfa hay in your area, you can buy alfalfa pellets, which are the same nutritionally as alfalfa hay. They have as much calcium, but it's just been ground up and pulverized and turned into pellets. And so she gave it to her goats, and she said they were less than thrilled, which is not surprising. They're a little suspicious of new foods, like a lot of us. And however, also like a lot of us, they are much more likely to eat it if they see their friends eating it. So if you try to give it to an individual goat by herself or like on the milk stand, she very well may turn up her nose at it and just completely refuse to eat it. But if you put a pan of it on the ground in the midst of a group of goats, it really only takes one to start eating it for another one to go, should I try that? And then another one and another one. And then they're basically like 4-year-olds. They want what the other goat has. And so then they all eat it. So that was my main strategy for getting my goats to eat alfalfa pellets when we first started feeding them. I was using them because I had a La Mancha doe that produced 2 gallons a day, and there was no way I could milk her in the amount of time that she could eat her goat feed. So, in fact, the first time I ever milked her, she wound up with diarrhea because she kept running out of grain and I had nothing else. So I just kept putting more grain, because I was like, oh my gosh, you've got more milk. And so you definitely, need to have something other than just grain to feed them. Like there is a ration, a specific amount of grain that they should have, like about 1 pound of 16% protein goat feed for every 3 pounds of milk they're producing. And once they have eaten that, they really shouldn't have any more because it can cause rumen upsets. So that's where the alfalfa pellets are also come in very handy. That's the main place that we use them is on the milk stand because we have, even though that doe is no longer with us, we have a lot of goats that are quite the Hoover. I swear they do not chew. There's no way they could be chewing if they're sucking up the grain as fast as they are. So that is also a great reason to use it. And I put hay pellets in the name of the video because alfalfa is a hay, but you can also get grass hay pellets for your bucks. So it's the same thing, but flipped. There have been a couple of years that I have not been able to get grass hay for my bucks. And so I buy like Timothy hay pellets for them. Orchard hay pellets are also good. That's similar, very similar nutrition, and it doesn't have the high calcium in it that is not good for bucks, because bucks should not be getting too much calcium because they don't need it. They're not growing babies. They're not making milk. They don't need that much calcium. And if they get too much calcium, it can wind up causing a zinc deficiency. So that's a conversation for another day. But for now, the easiest way. Oh, and then the second thing too is that when you first give it to them is to mix it with something that they will eat. So if you have, so like if it's your does and they have a 16% goat grain that they like, then you can, I usually tell people, depending on how resistant they are, you might need to start out 50-50, like 50% of the goat feed, 50% alfalfa. And then the next day go down to like only 25% of the goat feed. And hopefully by day 3, it can be 100% of the alfalfa pellets. So if you've got any other questions, feel free to post in the comment section below and we'll get back to you. Bye for now.